Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered, who created all of this? Who created the universe, the earth, and every living thing? Why do we exist? Is there really a God? And if God exists, what is he really like? Can we truly know him personally? These are some of the greatest questions people have been asking for thousands of years. Everyone has their own idea about God. Some believe he's simply a higher power. Others think he's far away, watching from a distance and not involved in our lives. Some aren't even sure he exists at all. But the Bible gives us a completely different answer. According to the Bible, God isn't a human invention. He isn't a myth or a legend passed down through generations. He is the eternal creator who has revealed himself so that we can know him. In this video, we're going to discover who God really is according to the Bible. We'll explore his nature, his character, his names, his power, his love, and his purpose for creating humanity. Whether you've been reading the Bible for years or this is your very first time learning about God, stay with me until the end. Because what you're about to discover could completely change the way you see God. So, let's begin. The Bible opens with one of the most powerful statements ever written. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Notice something remarkable. The Bible never tries to prove that God exists. It simply begins with the truth that he was already there before everything else. Before time began. Before the stars filled the sky. Before there were oceans, mountains, animals, or people. God already existed. Everything we see today began with him. Unlike us, God was never born. He has no beginning. And he will never have an end. Psalm chapter 90, verse 2 says, "From everlasting to everlasting, you are God." That means God is eternal. Time doesn't control him. He isn't limited by the past, the present, or the future. He sees the beginning and the end at the very same moment. While our lives are measured by days and years, God exists beyond time itself. That's one of the many things that makes him completely different from every created being. Now think about the world around you. The beauty of nature. The perfect balance of the universe. The incredible complexity of the human body. The changing seasons. The stars spread across the night sky. According to the Bible, none of these happened by accident. Every part of creation was made by God's wisdom and his power. Psalm chapter 19, verse 1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." Every sunrise, every flower, every heartbeat, every breath you take, is a reminder that God is the creator of all life. The Bible teaches that creation reflects God's greatness. When we look around us, we're seeing evidence of his creativity, his wisdom, and his limitless power. Throughout the Bible, God reveals himself through different names. And each of those names tells us something about who he is. The very first name we encounter is Elohim. This name appears in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and it emphasizes God's unmatched power as the creator of the universe. Another important name is Yahweh. When Moses asked God, "What is your name?" God answered in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14, "I am who I am." Those words reveal something extraordinary. God doesn't depend on anyone for his existence. Everything depends on him. But he depends on nothing. He is self-existent. He is eternal. And he never changes. The Bible also calls him El Shaddai, which means God Almighty. This reminds us that nothing is impossible for him. No problem is too difficult. No mountain is too high, and no situation is beyond his power. Another beautiful title is Adonai, which means Lord or Master. This reminds us that God isn't only the creator. He is also the rightful ruler over all creation. At this point, many people ask an important question. If God is real, why can't we see him? Jesus answered that question in John chapter 4, verse 24. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship in the spirit and in truth. Because God is spirit, he isn't limited by a physical body the way we are. He is present everywhere. He sees every person. He knows every heart. He hears every prayer. Even though we can't see him with our physical eyes, The Bible teaches that we can truly know Him personally. God isn't distant. He isn't hiding from us. He desires a real relationship with the people He created. And that brings us to another important question. If God is perfect, if He is complete, why did He create the universe? Why did He create human beings? Did He need us? Or was there a greater purpose behind creation? We'll explore those questions in the next part of this series as we continue discovering who God really is according to the Bible.